Wicket 43 and the Major Ravi sir's movie ഏറ്റവും വലിയ highlight ആണ് Javed sir's presence, and today we are blessed with his presence on our show. So join me in welcoming the phenomenal, the legendary Javed Jaffrey. So welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for the praise, which probably I don't deserve, but thank you very much. Thank you.
Not the praise, just the truth.
Thank you.
So sir, this movie, it's a very special movie because it doesn't just deal with India-Pakistan relationship, but a budding friendship between the soldiers. That's not something that we see every day.
So what's different here is it speaks more about the similarities than it speaks about the differences.
Yeah.
And that is crucial here. Because when you are in solitude, sitting somewhere in the back of beyond, and you have only the silence and the solitude and loneliness, then you start introspecting within yourself. And if you, like the Indian soldier who is played by Prithviraj, he's got a dog and he's got a radio. And that's the symbolic representation of the man's best friend and the radio who keeps him company. The Pakistani guy has nothing. So he listens to the radio from that side. And what is common is the music and the song.
Yeah.
And they love the music and cricket. So that's what brings them together. And then they come to know more about each other and how similar they are and their families and how it works and how the structure of a family works and wife and mother and stuff like that. And the politics and the people who are actually creating the mischief in between, and so a lot of these things are said and bonds are created. And I think it's coming at a very, very good time. It's the beginning of a year. And especially today, you see there's a lot of little mess going on around in the country where people are trying to put a lot of hate and negativity. And this is what a movie like this, makes you think and say, no, it's not all about this. There's a lot more to see beyond of how understanding, adapting to each other, appreciating the better things and good things, and trying to source out the problem areas. One person or a few people don't represent an entire people or an entire nation. Things like that, so which are important in today's time.
Yeah. And now, as you said, the times are very volatile and situation is not so good if we look from the outside. Now, we hear everyone saying that the Pakistan military themselves support Taliban and all that. In such a situation, when you played the role of a Pakistani soldier, here you are representing the common man, the sentiments of a common man over there. How did it feel playing this role?
No, that's what I liked in the script initially when I was told what kind of a movie this is. And see, Major Ravi himself, as a director and a writer, he's always been because it comes from the armed forces.
Yeah.
So he's very nationalist and very patriotic. And that shows in all his films.
Yeah.
And he wants, he has the harmony and the synergy between the armed forces and storytelling and cinema. He's trying to get into that zone, and he managed it beautifully in other movies of his. So I said, this is a movie and a story which should be told the way you are telling it. Because he's seen it on a ground level as a soldier, as an officer, and he's seen how it is and the other side and the people there. So I didn't even think twice. I said, this is a great film. I would love to be a part of this film. And OG as a producer, the way he approached it, and in spite of, it's not a so-called typical commercial way of looking at it. It's not. It's something. See, Malayalam cinema. The best part here is, it's a very evolved audience. In the Malayalam audience, they evolve. They will push the envelope. Say, okay, now we want something different. Do something else. Come on, enough formula. Okay.
Yeah.
So they will, and then they will make that something else, something different, something experimental work, whereby it works at the box office also. So the beauty here is that something commercially or critically appreciated also works at the box office. Which is rare, because in the north what happens is this won't work. It's critically acclaimed, but it won't work at the box office.
Yeah.
So when this film was made, OG had made this film
22 female court.
Yeah, which is a different kind of film also. Commercial, yes, but also different. It's, this one again is a different film. So he's attempting as a producer. Now as a director, he's doing something else. Prithviraj as an actor, he's trying to do different kind of films and do his input and his little bit in what can I do different in a film. So all this comes together, and for me to be a part of this team and this kind of thinking, I said, wow, great, it's an opportunity you should not miss. And although I didn't speak Malayalam, in the film, thankfully, or I don't mean it in a derogatory way. I didn't have to speak Malayalam because my character spoke Pakistani. And the director felt that it would take away from the reality when a Pakistani guy is speaking Malayalam.
Yeah.
So he's speaking as Urdu, Pathani accent person. And Prithvi speaks to me in a language, Hindi, Urdu mix, Hindi, which is understandable. And he speaks to himself and to his dog in Malayalam. You know, and it's a very well integrated and knitted complex, but very well put together. So you will, even the Malayalam audience will not necessarily miss out on what have I said, because he is translating it in a way. You know, so they won't miss out like, oh, what did this man say in Urdu? They won't. It's very cleverly done. It's very nicely done, and the essence and the spirit behind it is so good that, you know, it's construction, not destruction. It is bringing people together. It is, you know, that's the whole point, and I think that is needed in the world today.
Like you said, there is a lot of symbolism in this. Like if we take cinema, art, sports, that's what integrates the countries, or common men, that is. And here, more than soldiers, it's just two people out there who are like being
Then actually
friends.
what brings them together is the radio, which is music, and sports, which is cricket. So they have that common. You know, so, and yes, that is very nicely woven.
And again, this movie, it's like usually Major Ravi sir's movies concentrate on war, and he shows us the ground realities of war, what actually happens there. We are secure here, we are in a secure zone, we are just enjoying our life, but then he shows what happens there. And here, for the first time, he's showing militancy, the role of militants and what they are, the disturbances they are causing over there. So how do you see this movie? And even in Indian cinema, it's one of the very few movies which actually speak of militancy. So what do you think of that?
See, militancy has always been spoken about, a lot of movies in Hindi, at least, you know. Even Mr. Kamal Hassan, I think in this new movie he made, Vishwarupam?
Vishwarupam.
Yeah, okay, that also spoke about, you know, this kind of, but this has been tackled in a more personal level.
Okay.
About two people.
Yeah.
Two lonely people who have a similar interest, which is to protect and to honor and protect. You know? So that is what they're there for. Both of them. They are both there for the same reason. He's protecting his motherland, he's protecting his motherland.
Yeah.
So they don't become bad or good. They are both there protecting their motherland. So you have to respect that within the two of them.
So basically it looks at the philosophy of international relations from a common man's view.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And about the shooting, it must have been very difficult. I heard that from minus 13 to plus 15 was the temperature over there at that time.
No, it was plus 20 or something, but it went down to minus 15 and the snow, and we shot in winter and we shot in summer because that's the story required that. And it just is wonderful when you see it on screen and you see the difference.
How was it shooting with all the high security over there? And
we were with the army. We were staying in the army camp.
Yeah.
And we were shooting just next to Pulwama, which is supposed to be the most volatile district in Kashmir.
Yeah.
We met a lot of Kashmiris, locals, the army, of course. It was wonderful. I didn't feel scared. I didn't feel intimidated or scared. There were some killings which happened, some bomb blast somewhere. We used to hear that. And sometimes the security used to go tight, like they said, today is not safe. So they'll have armored trucks accompanying us to the shoot. But we did shoot, and the army was very, very helpful. Of course, you have great respect for the army, for what they do. But great experience, wonderful. And I hope that it reaches out to the people.
We have just seen the trailer so far, and in that itself we can see how wonderful it is. And about Kashmir, if we say, the people over there also, they are very much into, like my friends over there, I have some Kashmiri friends, they love cinema, they love their place being portrayed in cinema and all that. So how was the welcome that you got over there? You must have had tremendous amount of fans over there.
No, we didn't shoot much in the city, obviously. We shot in these remote places, and we were staying in the army camp, so we hardly went in the city. But the locals, the way they meet you, they are wonderful people, the people of Kashmir, and they are somewhere, they are grinded between the army, the Indian forces, and the militants. You know, and
they're very
they don't want to go to
proud about
Pakistan.
what
I
they
don't
have.
see, you know, the Kashmiri people wanting to go and belong to Pakistan. No, they're happy. But they have the issues. which have to be dealt with, you know. So which is on a government level, certain policies, whatever. You know, but great, wonderful people, and it's so sad that you know such a it's like the heaven on earth was coined by Nehruji, you know, and it's sad, and I hope it gets back to normalcy and we see people going there and thriving there, and not making films only about militancy and terrorism, making movies about
the
beauty and love and fun and whatever.
Yeah, and this movie would bring about a change in at least the mindset about the people, I guess.
Yes, because this is a more universal approach. It's more about this whole India and Pakistan and that whole relationship and the perception about that country. And sometimes the media also, because the media loves to show the negative, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, the bomb blast, the peaceful things, one small bit somewhere on page 5, you know.
They
but
don't
the
attract
blast will be everywhere, headlines, you know.
Yeah.
Why can't the peaceful things be headlines for a change? Because that doesn't make good news somewhere. It's not dynamic enough to be on the front page. Blast kills 3.
Yeah.
Peaceful protest, peaceful getting together of 2 million people. Okay.
Just weak.
Page 5.
You talked about how Malayalam movie industry is more realistic and it is compared to the North. So do you see such a change happening in North anytime soon? Such movies being accepted there more by the crowd rather than the commercial flicks?
You see, it takes time, like I said. You know, like out here also, reaching the 100% literacy level.
Yeah.
The cultural amalgamation, the synergy between different religions and castes and creed and cultures and customs and traditions, you know, all they come together. Like you go outside India and somebody asks you, where are you from? In America or in London? Oh, I'm from India.
Bollywood.
But this guy, no, I'm from India. You ask a guy from here, where are you from? In America, London. I'm from Kerala, sir. United States of Kerala. You know? So yeah, so that's how Keralites are. They think this is our land, this is our people. You know, it's like because they live differently. They live with a certain harmony. They live with certain principles and love, you know, which are different compared to other places. Which is, I think, which should spread to the other parts of the country. So the Keralite is a Keralite. He's not you won't think of him as a Muslim or he's a Hindu or he's a Christian from Kerala. Oh, Kerala, you know, fine. As opposed to, you know, people. So we have to get that somewhere. And I think these things combined, and then this should reach out, and this movie kind of in a small little way does that. It says that. So yeah.
And this movie, Major Ravi sir, he himself is an army man, so the movie sets must have been somewhat like an army camp, right? With his strict maneuvering and all
on the set,
that.
yeah, he's very strict. He's like one little major himself. You know? But with the actors, he's very different. He's very, because, you know, it is, you know, see, like a lot of great directors have said that, you know, the actor is a king. You have to, as a director, let him feel like a king. You have to feed his ego, because you have to get his performance out. The director has to see his vision being translated on screen, so he has to treat him like how a baby is. You know, you want him to sing, okay, come on, baby, yeah, you can sing, come on, do it now. I'm not doing it. Okay. And sometimes he'll be strict. Hey, come on, you have to sing. Sometimes you go, okay, you want a chocolate? Here, take a chocolate. Okay, now sing for me. It is like that. You have to treat the actor like a child and make him like clay. So the actor has to actually melt and become like clay, so the director can mold you.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the whole part of a director. It's very, very, you have to accommodate a lot of things. You have to be strict in certain places, technical, crew, cinematographer.
Yeah.
You know. But with the actors, yes, you have to be. Because when the actor goes in his shell or gets nervous or starts fearing, then it affects the performance. But yes, with the other technicians, he's like, whatever, the workers, you know. But he's also loving and be nice, and you know, when it comes to, okay, we're having lunch, okay, fine, so now we're not working, so.
And India loves you for your dance, and it's so flamboyant. We just absolutely adore it. The Boogie Woogie seasons, which lasted for like 10 years, more than 10 years. 70, yeah, 17 years, I'm sorry. Yeah, so do we see the soldier loosening up in this movie a little bit to some music from the radio?
No, in fact, there was a little moment in a song. But again, you see, the soldier is not somebody who's
Yeah.
to dance. So he will dance awkwardly. So it will be more difficult.
Oh.
Because you have to try and do something which is not maybe in rhythm or not something very dance friendly, but he's a man from the mountains, from
Yeah.
a village. So if he will try and attempt to
Do a
dance,
hip hop no.
yeah, he won't obviously be very cool and whatever. So you have to go in character. So it's not a whole. There's no.
But still we get to see
There's
you
no
dance.
lip sync song
Okay.
in the movie.
Yeah.
It's all background.
Okay.
So just like we do something on our own. So little moments in the song will just go. So there's no choreographed stuff. Yeah. So
And you're exactly the famous exactly.
exactly. The likes.
Oh my god.
You're the pink skirts.
That's exactly what our audience wanted to hear.
Yeah. See, you get to play all these roles. So you're lucky as an actor that, I've been lucky that I've tried to do from this spectrum to this spectrum, right? From being very serious in films like Fire or Forest or Shaurya or being in the middle somewhere, War Chhodna Yaar, 8x10 Tasveer, Sing is King is here, Dhamal is here, whacked out comedy, So we've hit the spectrum.
Yeah.
From whacked out comedy to very serious. I've been lucky I got to play all these roles and I hope to get more of these happening. Maybe in Malayalam cinema I'd love to. I love the way they work and the audience, and hopefully I'll do some
We'd be honored.
good film. No, I'd be honored. Yeah.
And what are your future projects? Find out.
Well, I may be doing something with Santosh Sivan. He's directing and we
Yeah.
might produce something together and I'll probably act in it. So I'm working on that. And one other film which I'll be doing in May, maybe something in March. I'm trying to get a company together to produce things international also, to get Hollywood involved. So I'm trying to.
A big year ahead.
Yeah, hopefully, yes. A lot of movement. Yeah. It's all about momentum. Yeah, you have to keep moving, no? You can't. So life has become like this, it's like a treadmill. You stop and you fall off.
Yeah.
You got to keep walking, you got to keep running, just to stay in the same place. You have to stay in the same place, you're moving ahead.
And you stay healthy.
No, but you're staying in the same place. You don't move ahead. You have to outrun the treadmill.
Yeah.
If you stop walking, back, fall down. So that's how it is today in life. You have to keep moving.
Yeah.
It's going so fast, everything. So you have to keep up with the time, with the pace. Yeah, hopefully you can keep up and do some good stuff and make cinema which can contribute. Television or cinema which can contribute to positive things. And for me that's important. You have a responsibility. So you don't lecture, but yes, you make cinema which can say something. Like Raju Hirani makes wonderful cinema.
Exactly.
All his films, he says something. He takes a point, an issue, and speaks about it. So that's, I think, great entertainment with a message which makes people think and probably bring about some change.
And now that you're in Kerala, I should ask you this: what do you love the most about Kerala?
Ooh, as I said again, I love the active minds of the people, and there is a culture which is tradition, which is also there. They understand progress, but they are steeped in their tradition, and they are all over the world, making their mark in IT, in hospitality. Most of the nurses you find in them are all from Kerala.
Yeah.
It's probably because they are so caring and they are so, So I think there are a lot of beautiful things. Food is there, wonderful food. We have a beautiful state out here.
You should come more often.
Yeah, I would probably like to. Hopefully I can do something.
And so, what are your expectations about this movie? First movie of New Year.
Well, I don't expect, I just pray and I hope. Expectations, I don't know, I don't keep expectations. You just expect things, probably. Somebody says don't expect it because then you start getting disappointed.
Buddha.
Let it be, love, do your work, let it go. If it comes back, great. So what you've done here is made a good film, a very, very nice film, says something nice with a team. And we hope that the people accept it and like it because that is the intention, that there is a message behind it. There is a certain hope which we hope that will go to your hearts and minds and make that impression. It's not about money making, because then we would have made something else, no? Money, yes, at least you make your money back for the producer because he has put in. Then he will, if he makes his money back and he makes a small profit, then he will invest in another movie like this. That yes, I'm trying to make something not run of the mill, I'm trying to make something different, we're going to say something. So yes, it is important, and it's just that the producer should. And for that, it's important the cinemas and watch it, not watch it on some pirated DVDs or VCDs and watch it on TV. No, I mean, it's a whole industry. There's a lot of people's homes are running on this. There's thousands of people whose livelihood is this. You know, so you wouldn't like to kick somebody's livelihood away just because you choose to go and watch it on a pirated DVD at home. So I think it's important. You have to understand and respect. You know, if I come into your territory and for example, you're manufacturing something with all the workers from here and you're making homemade something, wow, fantastic, and somebody makes copies that and takes it away, and, you know, and that's wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it's like robbing, it's like cheating, it's thieves.
Exactly.
So we have to understand that this is an industry. Yes, if it's bad, they've done a bad job, then reject them. But at least go and give them a chance to have a look at it and say, oh, this is not it. We can't, you know, encourage good cinema. I think, and Kerala does that. And hopefully this should be a good beginning to the year. I hope so.
And more than wonderful, this was a very thought-provoking chat that I had with you.
I don't know, it just led that way. I'm so sorry. I didn't want to be any boring or lecturing.
No, it was not boring at all.